Hey, what's up? It's your boy Stephen McCoy, and you are listening and watching Sessions with Stephen. And today we're going to be discussing the Salute Them Awards, which airs Sunday, June 5th at 10 p.m. on BNC.TV. And we have a good show for you today. We have three special guests. Actor Broadway superstar St. Aubyn, who's going to be co-hosting with hip hop superstar Yo-Yo, as well as talk show host and comedian Loni Love. We also have award-winning choreographer and author of Black Boy Dance 2, the Jamal Josef. And wow, we also have Sheila Eldridge, who's the executive producer and creator of Café, Mocha Radio, which is the #1 nationally syndicated talk show radio station all across the world. She does it all for women of color. And I'm just so excited and honored to be speaking to all of you today. How are you?
Good.
Doing good, doing good.
Yes, moving and grooving.
I love it. Miss Sheila, can you speak to us about the Salute Them Awards? How did it come about?
Well, we've been doing the Salute Them Awards for the last 10 years. Café Mocha is the #1 syndicated radio show for women of color. And for the last 10 years, we've honored women. And so for our 10th anniversary, we decided that we wanted to honor organizations, our brothers, and women who are all making a difference. The common denominator is that all the honorees are making a difference in whatever their field of endeavor is, both personally and professionally. And so for Black Music Month, since we are a radio show that we call lifestyle because we talk about lifestyle issues, but we play contemporary music, for Black Music Month, we decided, we want to do the Salute Them Awards, the soundtrack of our lives for Black Music Month. And so we're not just doing artists, but we're doing the folks behind the scenes who are making a difference in their work. Like Jamal, of course, with choreography in his book. June Ambrose, who is an amazing stylist. I'm sure you know about June, who's, kind of been hip hop glamour, brought glamour to hip hop. Darlene Love, Dr. Bobby Jones, Earth, Wind and Fire. We went and found Sly Stone, which was not easy, but we found
Hello.
And so, and then Ludacris.
Yeah.
So you can see the body of work of our honorees, and that's why it's called Salute Them, because we wanted to pay tribute to all the people that are making a difference. And that's really what the Salute Them Awards is about.
Yes, I love that. And how did you decide? Obviously, you have Jamal, who has just killed it. He's been killing it this year, as well as Saint. How did you hand select them to be able to host and to honor Jamal as well?
I have to tell you that I do a lot of reading. And we get recommendations from we're on 40 stations around the country, and we get a lot of recommendations as well from our affiliates. But I do a lot of reading and watching. I'm a news junkie, and I saw a piece on Jamal that I was just so impressed of what he was doing, and to be so young doing it. I'm a little seasoned here, and I just, we have a committee, and I took him to the committee, and everybody said, yes, he's the one, okay? And then I went to see Ain't Too Proud, and I just fell in love with Saint and, of course, the play. And we honored the play in 2019. The play was one of the organizations and everything that we honored at the Salute Them Awards in New York. And so I just thought, why don't we change it up this year? We've got 3 women that host the radio show. Why don't we change it up and bring in a man to kind of just disrupt things a little bit and give it some flair and fun, but a man that spoke to all of what this awards is about: the theater, the temptations, the acting, the singing. It's all of what the Salute Them Awards is about. So we asked Saint, and he said yes.
I love it. Now, Jamal, how does it feel to be honored for the Champion for Children Award?
I mean, it was really crazy when I had just received an email. I mean, most of the time, a lot of dancers and choreographers, we're so background that you never even know who's doing what, who's putting all the hard work in, who is out there, you know, choreographing, teaching and training and just all the different things that we do as just not even movers, but artists, you know, our own projects that we have on the side. So that was really great to be honored. But I mean, it's always great to be honored again, you know, amongst people that you have watched since you've grown up. I mean, like Ludacris, like, I mean, I choreographed to your music, Earth, Wind, and Fire, you know, I choreographed to your music, but it's like now it just takes you to another level of confidence in what you're doing. Sometimes as artists, we get a little, you know, hard on ourselves, imposter syndromes and things. And then you get to say like, hey, like, I'm doing something right. Like it's going in the right direction. And all I got to do is keep moving, you know, stay the course. So it was just truly an honor. I mean, all of these people are people that you just have no choice. Like their music is timeless. Their movement is timeless. Whatever they're doing it's been some timeless pieces that is just, I was speechless.
I love that. And just getting to know your story, it was really touching to see that you're going to be honored for this award. I mean, because you starting off as a child, obviously, being a child that was bullied and that didn't quite fit in, and the only thing that you found relief was through the physical expression through your body. And to now for the narrative to be turned around and say that you are the champion for children, especially of the new generation, that has to feel pretty amazing.
Yeah, it actually does. You know, sometimes you forget what it's like to be a child. You forget how impressionable the children are, how much that they watch. Like they're like sponges, and you forget that. And working with kids or just hearing all the stories of parents who are like, hey, my child took the book to school today, and, you know, they were young boys. They were like, see, I'm not the only one. Or, you know, telling their teachers, you need to read this because I'm being made fun of. Or just, it really gave them a voice. And I think that that's the most important is, as a child, you know, a lot of times your voice is, you know, they shut you out, or you know, don't speak, sit at the table, do this. And you're always told what to do. But for kids to have so much confidence in a book, it's something so small, but they get to see.
Yeah. So Saint, thank you so much for coming on as well. I am definitely a fan of yours. You've done some amazing things on Broadway. And one thing that I was excited about that you will be hosting this year, you have such a warm spirit. And what are you going to be bringing to the show? I mean, you're teaming up with Yo-Yo and Loni. That's a lot of personality.
It's glorious personality that is what I like to say. You know, we come together. It's like we've known each other for years because we just fit in. We pick each other up. We figure out where it has to go, and it's just when you see it, you're gonna understand exactly what I'm talking about. It's simply glorious. And that's all I can say about it.
I love that. We can't wait for that. You know, with you, you've been in theater for a while, and major way to collaborate with so many different people. You worked with Patti LaBelle as well. All of these. What has been the most rewarding thing in your career thus far?
You know, I was talking to someone about this a couple of days ago. One of the most rewarding things would be to see the young kings and queens come up to me and say, thank you. Thank you for being up there because it lets me know that I can do that too.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing that we, you know, and I remember one of the little boys came up to me and was like, thank you for showing me that no matter what, I can get on that stage and be up there with everybody else. And knowing that we have so many, especially in my show, the Temptation show, seeing, because representation matters. Being able to see yourself in someone else means the world. So just that's been one of my biggest loves receiving that kind of love.
Absolutely. And, you know, one thing you mentioned, people come up to you and say, thank you, simply thank you. And I know that's something that you've stated that you've learned from the great Gregory Hines, and you kind of coming up under his reign and you getting to know the world. And what those experiences, did they teach you to humble yourself? Like, what was something that kept you grounded throughout these years?
Oh yeah, I remember watching Gregory Hines not only thank the audience, but thank the people who put the show together. And I mean your stagehands, I mean wardrobe, because what people need to understand, it's not just the people on stage that make the shows come together, it's everybody. Everybody. So I learned that from a young age, and I always make sure to thank everyone who's involved, because you know you want to make sure that they know that they're loved too and appreciated, because it's it's not easy what we do. So you want to make sure you give people love and give back the love that they make sure that, you know, your curtain's coming up, your lights are on you, your spotlight is on you. Because one thing you don't want to do is piss off your spotlight folks, because you won't be seen. So you have to continue, you have to stay humble, but also be grateful and give that energy back, because they give it to us 110%.
I love that. Miss Sheila, I see why you chose them to be the host.
Yep, now you know why.
I see why. And you know, and at first I must say, saying I wasn't sure if, because I always thought you were a very shy person. And I know you have lots of personality, which we've always seen on the stage. Would you say that you're a shy person in real life, or are you just reserved?
I can be reserved at times, yes. Okay. But shy is not in my DNA at all. And I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeps you out of trouble, you know, so that's
I think you'll see that in the show. Because the chemistry with he and Loni and with Yo-Yo is so natural. This is a unique award show in that it's very contemporary. It's very fun. It's very like you're sitting talking to. It's nothing like any award show that you've seen, and we've grown it over the 10 years. And so he came and fit in so nicely that I couldn't believe, you know, how organic it is and how organic it was, the conversation that they had about the honorees and about the music, because one of the things is that the show is shot at we taped it at the National Museum of African American Music in Nashville, which if you have not been there, you must take your family and you must go. It is an unbelievable body of beauty and work and culture of our music. So you're going to see a lot of the museum in there that I think kind of brought out everybody's personalities too, you know?
I love that. And you know, one thing about you, I know you've always been a voice for women of color, but as you said, you are changing things up as far as even having a male host the show, you know. And one thing you've always stated is that in order to grow your business, you can't just limit yourself to one thing, specifically just like in entertainment. You also go in other different facets as far as even your humanitarian work. You have summer scopes, which is you take children from inner cities and give them that camp experience. Can you talk to us a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, Summer Scope is a program that we have that we do camps for inner city kids. The whole concept is some kids can't afford to go to a camp away. And so we bring the camp experience into the inner city community. And the kids can play, they develop for a week on the sports side, but on the entertainment side, they produce their own TV show. And at the end of the week, to see those kids go from being very shy and introverted to blossoming and being on camera. Another person's doing sound, another person's doing lighting, and and they create their own TV show. And now it's even better with the internet. We've been doing Summer Scope for a long time. And so that's one of our babies. And then of course the Mocha Cares Foundation. Everything we do is for the Mocha Cares Foundation, where we support local shelters for women and children and do programs for them, career programs for them, and helping them move from shelters into a home environment. So there's some of the philanthropy work that we're passionate about. And I say we because it's the whole team. Mm-hmm. But my philosophy is always ask why not? Why can't we do this? Why not? A lot of people don't do things because it hasn't been done. Well, why not? And we figure out and we just go do it.
I love that. And you know what? I know it starts with in the homes and inspiring the children, which each and every one of you are doing. Sheila, I know for you, it started with your mother just believing in you and giving you, investing in that $500. And I love that. For each of you, who was it that believed in you and that helped motivate you to do what you're doing today?
Well, I know for me, 100%, my mom and my dad. They noticed that I liked to perform. I was never pushed into this industry or performing and acting, dancing, singing, all that stuff. They realized that I just liked doing it. And so the fact that they supported me all this way to make sure, they made sure I was in dance class, because I started off as a dancer underneath, the tutelage of Baba Chuck Davis and Frank Hatchett, who are no longer with us. But the fact that I was able to get training from those legends, because they are 100% legends and need to be spoken about more. So the fact that I was able to learn from them, and not just the dancing aspect, and this is one of the things I appreciate about coming up under them. They also taught me, to be humble, to be grateful, to pay respects to your elders, because remember, your elders were here before you and they can teach you so much if you just sit down and listen. So I say all that to say, definitely my mom and my dad.
I love that. Joseph?
Yeah, I think that it was my mom and my dad, of course, but my siblings, actually, I have 5 sisters, and they did probably the most. Like every time, every city, every state I moved to, if I didn't have any money, I was trying to take a dance class, I was trying to train, I needed to go to an audition, I needed new shoes, whatever it was. I feel like they always all came together and was like, here's $40, here's $100, here's this, or they reposted me on their Instagrams and their Facebooks, or calling their friends. And so I think that they were like my biggest cheerleaders. And even when I had like hard times, if I need somebody to talk to, cry to, whatever, they were always like, so we can talk about it. What do you need? Like, okay, I have a friend, and try and call them or try and do this. So of course, your parents are always going to be your supporters. So without them, you can't do anything. But I would have to definitely say my sisters had the biggest impact, because I think that they showed my parents as well how serious I was about it. And they gave them different perspectives. of how to, you know, have them support me even more.
I love that.
Well, for me, it was, of course, my mother in the beginning, and family. And my mother was kind of a single mother because I was a product of a very bad divorce. But as I grew, it's my HBCU family because, you know, went to Howard, went to HU, and it is nothing like the relationships that you build in college, at a historically Black college. It's just nothing like it. And so when I started my business, you know, all of my friends who were in the industry, they looked out for me and they gave me referrals and they gave me business. And they say, we don't know how to network, but we do. We are a people that survives and knows how to network. So I'd say my HBCU family. And then as the business grew, it's the sponsors. Like for the Salute Them Awards and Café Mocha, Toyota and AARP has been with us for the last 7 years. You don't get sponsors and corporate partners that before it was fashionable to come on board.
Hello.
They were there and they have been a part of our growth. And when we said, well, we wanted to move into production, we started doing events, and then we wanted to move into virtual, they were there. They said, we're with you, we'll pivot with you. When we said we're going to broadcast, they said, we're there with you. So they're buying spots on the show and everything. So it's important that it's all about relationships. And I tell people we're in a human relations business. That's the business we're really in.
Yeah.
So from your family to your HBCU to your friends, you know, it's about building relationships.
Yeah. And I know for all of you, it wasn't always as, I wouldn't even say it's easy today, but maybe easier. But in the past, how did you deal with rejection in the past? Or how do you deal with rejection now?
Well, I will say this, and I like to, once I go into the room, or whatever I'm doing, once I'm finished with it, I leave it right there in the building. I leave it right there in the building, wherever I'm at. Even if now we're doing a lot of these virtual stuff, I leave it right here. Because if you take that particular energy with you, you're going to be thinking about it all the time. You're going to be wondering, did I do this? Did I do this right? Leave it right there. And, you know, we're human. Sometimes it's easier said than done. But the best thing that I found for myself over the years is once it's all said and done, leave it right where you put it. Leave it right there.
Leave it right there.
I think for me, rejection, when I first started dancing professionally, I was told the industry is not a place to be sensitive. So I didn't understand that at first, but I had to, you know, understand that this is still a business and that it was about roles. Like, you know, sometimes I couldn't be mad if the artist is 5'2". Of course, I'm not gonna book the job. I'm 5'10". Like, you know, it's like starting to look at things in different perspectives to say, like, you know, okay, maybe I wasn't fit for the job. Maybe they only needed one girl, one guy. Like, you know, I had to take that pressure that it wasn't always me. And then I think that rejection actually helped my faith grow because God started to give me things that were way bigger than what I had wanted, or the experience that my friends had after the job. They were so miserable, and I was like, wow, like, okay, maybe God was blocking me or everything. So I started to just look ahead to say, like, there's a reason for this. And of course, I'm human. I'm gonna feel, I give myself a day or two. And then next, it's like, all right, so what are we doing next? And honestly, the spaces that I was rejected in, it actually is how I even got like a children's book, or I started doing my own tours or different things, because I said, okay, if you say no, I'm going to create it myself, and someone is going to follow. Someone's going to believe in it. And I think I started to just treat it like a fuel.
Yes, I love that. Don't wait to be discovered. Discover yourself. Mario Van Peebles said it not too long ago, and it's been sticking with me ever since. So yes,
Love that. Miss Sheila?
Oh, well, rejection. God is bigger than any rejection in our lives. He's bigger than that. And everything has a season. And so when I get a rejection, that means that wasn't for me.
Right.
He knows what's best. And so it's faith. It's all about faith. And once you get in tune with your faith and understanding that if it's not for you, then just move on. Like Saint said, leave it right there, which is hard to do. Or, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, take a few days, and then move on because that wasn't for you. Everything is divine and everything has a season, and it will come. So it's kind of hard, but after you've been through so many rejections, you learn to lay the land. You just let it go. My mother used to always say, you can't move forward if you keep looking back.
Yeah.
Oh, that is the truth. Absolutely.
And I even have been in situations where God has said, I'm going to put you in this to show you why you're not going to do it.
Okay. Listen.
I have been in situations where I was like, why would I start this? Why? And I'm not going to do it. And then you see it all play out and you go, thank you, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with also, if I can add, sometimes those who may reject you is for their own growth as well. Like, they may see, you performing with Beyonce, and then that's a lesson for them. I mean, and it's not really like a payback or lesson sort of thing, but it just shows that everyone is a star in their own right. Everyone is able to shine, everyone possesses that. And I just thank all of you, each and every one of you, for being those inspirational figures. And I mean, you guys are the voices of tomorrow. And thank you, Ms. Sheila, for providing voices all across the country. What you've done in radio is amazing. And, my flowers to you.
Thank you.
So thank you guys so much for coming on to Sessions with Steven. Salute Them Awards airs on Sunday, next Sunday, that's June 5th at 10 p.m.
Yes.
Thank you.
And you can stream it at salutethemawards.com.
Yep. There you go.
All right. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, subscribe now.